Good morning, everyone. I'm Lindy from Lindy's Wedding Flowers. I specialize in artificial, gorgeous wedding flowers. I'm right now in completion of this design here, and we've got, she wants a little bit of pink, a little bit of blue, some greens. It's for a garden party, so I've got some peonies, some roses. I've wrapped it in raffia ribbon all around. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make for this particular bride something for her flower girl. And I'm going to make a fairy wand. And it's going to show a lot of these colors. There's also green in here, by the way. All kinds of little different colors, and it'll be perfect for her garden party. So we'll just set this aside, and I'm going to show you the materials that I'm going to use, for the fairy wand. Okay. And what we've done is I've got one done. She has two little bright flower girls, I should say. So she's got two flower girls. And so I've completed one, and I'm going to show you how to do the other one. So this is it, and I've got the different color ribbons on it. You can see that there. So that is a fairy wand. Okay, now what I'm going to use for supplies, I'm going to show you that right now. We're going to, first of all, from the dollar store, I got these dowel sticks and the little styrofoam balls. And what I did was I just cut a little hole in the styrofoam ball and inserted the dowel stick. I glued it in, so it'll stay there nice and solid. Now the flowers and materials that I'm going to use white roses. We're going to use a little bit of that greenery, a little bit of the lily. We're going to use some hydrangea. And we're going to have the 3 raffia flower loops that are on the other wand. So we've got those. And then we've got some ribbons. And I've also got a little pink. This one's going to be just a little bit different than the other one. Same type of colors, but I just like to make them just a little bit different. And also, usually when I'm doing the smaller pieces, what I'll do is I'll use up, pieces that I have left from the major design. This major design had 7 bridesmaids and then corsages and boots. So now I'm just finishing off the wands. So what we're going to do now, we've got this wand and I've got a glue gun here. I'm just going to take the flowers. I'm going to put this pink one right in the middle because I don't have a lot of pink left over. And again, because I'm finishing up a design and I'm using up flowers, I'm going to put that right in the middle there. And just poke it right down. Okay. And then we're going to add these white roses all the way around. I have already glued these because I always glue the heads onto all of the pieces. Make sure everything stays nice and solid. So everything has been glued already. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go around all sides and poke these little roses in there. Gluing them, of course, all the time. You want to glue everything. I'm very fussy on my detail work, so I do like to make sure that everything's glued in there nice and firm. So we're just going to continue now, and I'm probably not going to talk as much because I'm going to do the work here, okay? Sometimes I hang on to the styrofoam ball just to make sure that it doesn't come loose. If it does come loose, you know what, you can always put some more glue on it and attach it. Don't worry about that. But let's just get these roses in there. And then we can put all the other stuff in. And well, there we go. It's taking form. Now, usually what I'll do is I'll keep a rose or two, in reserve. And then if I have an empty space, I'll pop it in there. Okay, so now I'm going to add these lilies. And I got some glue there. Okay. Now this lily here, I need to cut it back. Okay, so you don't want very much because that little styrofoam ball will fill up very, very quickly. Okay, so you don't need much. Okay, and I think one right there would do it. Okay, and then another one on the other side. Okay, and again, I'm going to cut this one too, just a bit off. Okay. You know, you just eyeball it, and you'll see, you know, some empty spaces where you think it might balance nicely, and that's what we do. Okay, and then we're going to add some of these in here. I'm going to add some hydrangea now, ivory, okay, and just fill in the empty spaces with it. Sometimes it won't poke in. What I do is I attach it to the bottom of one of the leaves and fill in that way. Okay, as long as you're gluing it, make sure you're gluing it. Okay, and so yeah, I'm just going around filling in some spaces, empty spaces. Okay, one there. And it's really taking shape quite nicely, and I don't want too long a stem because I'm gluing these just onto the leaves on this one. And see if you can just lift up the leaves, glue it in there. There you go. There we go. And I'm gonna have a little bit more of this. Got glue strings, but you know, you can always clean that all up afterwards, you know. And you know what cleans it up nicely too is just blow dryer. And just stick that in there. And now what have we got? Something up here yet we're gonna need, so you can see these spaces in there yet. Now if you see empty spaces, fill it in. But yeah, the little girls just love these fairy ones, and they look so cute with them too. So this one here. Now I think, you know what, we can always maybe just a little bit more right there, I think. And then we can fill in with these the smaller flowers. Add some ribbon. And this one came out. That doesn't matter. We'll reattach it. Okay. A little glue. And that's the thing about flowers. You can do so much more with them. You know, with wiring and all of that. Okay. Now I'm going to add my ribbon loops. And I'm going to just show you, I've pre-made 2 of them. So I'm going to show you how my other tutorials online, you will see how to make them as well. But these are the ribbon loops. And what you're going to do is you're going to take a ribbon loop, hold it in half, cut your ribbon. These are probably about 5-6 inches long. But you want to, you know, just kind of figure out how much you want them extend outside of your little bouquet there. And then I've got some paddle wire. I'm going to cut a piece of that. And just we're going to wrap that around there to make a ribbon loop. Okay. Let's go tight as you can. Okay. Because now you're going to have something that'll stick into that styrofoam ball. So you take a little stem from one of the leftover flowers that I had and wrap this wire around, like so. And then you take your florist tape and wrap that around there nice and tight. And there you have it. You have a ribbon loop. Okay, so now I have 3 of these. Now I'm just going to cut this one off a bit. Okay, and now we're going to just glue these in. one right about here would be awesome. Awesome possum. Okay, right there. Okay, clear that flowers away so you can see to get it in there. And take it right down. Okay, you can take it down a little lower if you like. I'm going to leave it there just demonstration purposes. I usually clean it all up anyways before they go out. You know, add a little bit more if I want to, a little more detailing. But that's just up to you. Some people like things fairly packed and solid. Others like it a little airier. So, you know, it's all a matter of how you want to have it and how your eye will see it. And then we want to go over here. Down in there. And then we're going to need one more over here. I'm cutting this down a bit because I don't have much more room on that little tiny ball. So I got to attach it to the leaves underneath. Okay. But that's how you do her. There's several ways to make a wand, but I like this one. Some of them I find they're just not elegant enough, so I think that with making it this way, it's so elegant. Oh, and then you could just adjust those as you, you know, as you go along. I might just move this one over a bit, but yeah, just adjust it where you want it. Now, I still have some little blue baby's breath. I'm going to add that. In there. I'll put one over here. And, you know what, just stick it in wherever you think, you know, you would look nice. And I think I have another couple of pieces here. There, so we've got some blue in there now. We've got green, we've got pink, we've got the ivory roses, we've got some hydrangea, and it's coming along nicely. Now, for the stick itself, for the wand itself, we're going to wrap it in a ribbon. I'm going to take this one down a bit, and when I do my final gluing, I'll glue that down just a bit more. Okay, I've got still some leaves I want to put in there. Here's another little blue stem. I think I'll chuck it in there somewhere. Actually, I don't think we need it. But that one, why don't we use it up? Okay. Yeah. Let's use her. There. So that's pretty. And then we've got these leaves. I like them just a little bit droopier though. Let me see if I have some that are a little bit longer. And we'll use that because, yeah, let's use some of this one. I like them to hang over just a little bit, you know. Okay, and then this one here, just a little bit too much. I think it's too heavy for that little fairy girl. So I'm going to take some of it off. There, that's about right. And then we just glue in 3 or 4 pieces of this all the way around. And I'm just gonna try to poke it in. I don't have much room. Okay, so there we got one. Actually, this one I'll use for a boutonniere. I keep the smaller ones and I'll use them for the boutonnieres. I'm doing a set. This is a really big set. Maybe hang on, I'll show you all the other pieces, you know, before I leave you. Yeah, it's quite a big set, and I still have to do some wrist corsages to match this one. So we'll get that done. And a couple more boots. think weddings are getting pretty big nowadays. One, okay, and we'll put 2 more in there. And fluff this up a bit there, okay. And we'll do 2 more. Got this one, and at the end, I want to show you a little trick. Okay, stay with me, and I will show you some tricks with the ribbons and stuff, you know. There's always a way to do things, and we can mix things up a little bit. Now that looks pretty. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, and then I think maybe 1 more piece in here. This one's a little okay. As you can see, I'm really just piecing now from the pieces that I had left over, you know, from the big design that I've been doing. So, and there we go. There you have it. So this is a little fairy wand. Now what you need to do, and again, this is where I'm going to show you now how to wrap the handle and make that look pretty. Okay, so we're going to take some white ribbon. And I got some here. Where did it go? Okay, here we go. Okay, put some glue at the bottom here. Make sure you got the right side of the ribbon. Some sides of it are not finished with, you know, the satin side, so you want to make sure you get the right side. Going up, you don't have to be too particular, because we're going to go back down, you know, to the bottom. So, but I usually put some glue on it a little bit of about 1/3 of the way, and then again at the top. So, and wherever you think that, you know, you wanna, if you're losing control and you want glue, use it. Use it, use it. So now I'm gonna put another dab of glue just there, and keep wrapping it. So this one here, these are for little bridesmaids. They're like about 7 years old. So, you know, you don't want them too big, but you know, they like to have it looking as big and nice as the bigger girls, you know, that are in the wedding party. So you don't want to make them too like toyish looking either, okay? So you want to make them look elegant and fun. And I've done some of these even where I've put in the little fairy lights. So there's an idea that you could do. Put fairy lights on, you know, the little battery operated ones. And I usually hide the battery up in the flowers before I start it, just underneath. So lots of little things you can do. Okay. And we're just about at the top here. Oops. Okay, I don't want that lump. Just trying to keep some of the lumps out of it, but we're almost there. And thank you for watching. I hope that you subscribe to my channel, because I do a lot of different things. And actually, I've just started doing YouTube videos, but I have a lot of things I can show you, so I want to do that. Of course, I've been designing for a long time, but as for the videos, I haven't. So I'm a little bit scared to do them, and we've lost a flower, but that's all right. We can get it back in there when we're done here. I'm gonna have to cut this ribbon because it's getting in the way. If I have enough there. So, okay. And we're going to start back down. Okay. Okay, so I'll put another drop of glue up at the top before I start back down. I'll take that flower out for now because we can put it back. And I'll just go around here again. Now we're coming down. And you're just going to crisscross. No, not crisscross so much as you don't need to do like the whole stem again. Some of the ribbons are going to hide it anyway. So down here. Okay, so just wrap it down again. You're doing this, it just kind of hides the wood coming through, and it just gives it just a little bit more of a finishing to it. So if you see, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. And I love it. Look at that. See? They're right down at the bottom. Sometimes I cut the ribbon too short. That happens. But this is okay. And I just put a little glue there to secure that end, that tail. And then you just cut this on an angle, like so. And then I'll put a pearl on the end of it. The other one, I did it a little different. And it's okay to do it a little bit different because it's still in with the theme, you know. And now, if your pearl pokes through like mine did, I'm gonna take my wire cutters and cut it. And then I'm going to eventually, I'm not going to do that on here right now, but eventually I'm just going to put a little dab of glue in there, covering that little pin head so that it doesn't stick through, okay? Or I'll cut it back a little bit more. Either way, just to finish it off. So now, what we're going to do for last, so if you noticed on the other little wand, okay, I had the rattan on the end of it. But you know what, the bridesmaids all have the little pearl on the back. So that's why I thought I would just do one a little bit different. And then, you know, I hope the girls don't fight over them, but I think so. They're both very pretty, so I don't think so. So now we're going to add some ribbon. And I have this cut already. I have green. For sure. Here it is. Okay, so I just want green with it. I might yet, because you know I have blue in my flowers as well. I might yet, before I finish it off for packing, I might yet put some blue, like this little green, just a really thin one, you know, in there. In the bouquets and stuff. But yeah, I did say that I'm going to show you girls, or show you all, whoever, girls, guys, some guys are watching, I'm sure. So I'm going to just take this ribbon here and tie it with some paddle wire. With a little bit of this. And so exciting. You know what? I love doing this all the time. I've been doing it for so long, and I still do. I get so excited every time I do a new wedding. And you know what? I'm ad lib. I don't plan my speeches or anything. So sorry if I'm not as polished, but you know what? I'd rather not. So. And then I'm just dovetailing the ends of the ribbons to give it a nice little effect. The wider ribbon, I'm dovetailing. You just fold it in half, and then on your raw edges, just cut up like a V, and then you've got a dovetail, okay? And then on the green ribbon, because it's a very thin ribbon, I just cut it on an angle, like that, just like that. Do you know what? I just have so much fun. I know I told you, but I do. I do. Okay, and this one here, I'm going to just cut on an angle too, just the same, okay? And then I'm going to take this, and I'm just going to glue it into the bottom of the bouquet. Oh, we had a flower that fell out. So, we're going to put that back in, because I want you to see the finished look. All done. back in there. And then you go around it too. And if you see any bare spots or anything that you think needs adjusting, you can do that. You know, I'm going to move this ribbon up. And then adjust it a little bit more later on, because I don't want to spend too much time on just adjusting. Okay, not for the video anyway. Okay, now I'm going to glue the little flowers or the ribbons in. Glue gets hot, you know, so be careful. It does get hot. And there you have it. Fairy wand. So one little girl's going to be so happy to have it. And that's what I was going to show you at the end here, is that if you want to, you can put as many of these little ribbon things around the bottom as you want. It's even nice if you have some a little shorter, some longer. You know, you can stagger them. I'm going to leave it this way because I don't overdo it with ribbons, because my design is raffia. So, you know, is raffia ribbons. So I'm not going to overdo it with that. But I am going to take my camera down now. So it'll just be a little bit of wobbling and stuff. But I want to show you the rest of the set that I've been working on. And it's so beautiful. So hang on. I'm going to show you. Okay. Okay, so this is the set that I've been working on. So I have, like, the bride. She's got every color in hers. And they're all done on a nice, thick bouquet handle. Okay, and then, you know, all of the bridesmaids have different colored dresses. One has a green, one has a blue, one has a pink. So each of the bridesmaids are all done in the colors of their gown. So this is the green girl. This is the blue girl. This is the pink girl. And then I have two junior bridesmaids as well. So these are like for little 9-year-old girls. And then I have all the boutonnieres, and corsages are coming next. So that's what I'm working on. And, you know, thank you so much for coming and joining me today and watching everything that I enjoy doing. And I hope you subscribe to my channel, because I'll show you a lot more things too. So have a good day, everyone. Bye now.